Welcome to the Fathering Strong podcast, dedicated to empowering fathers to build stronger families and communities. Each week, we bring you conversations with experts, everyday dads, and community leaders who share their wisdom and experience to help you become the father your children need. Whether you're a new dad just starting out, a seasoned father facing new challenges, or someone who mentors and supports fathers in your community, you'll find practical advice, heartfelt stories, and evidence-based strategies to strengthen your fathering journey. You can find all our previous episodes, resources for fathers, and information about Urban Light Ministries programs at urbanlight.org. If you find value in our podcast, please subscribe and share it with other fathers in your life who might benefit from this community. And now, here's Pastor Eli Williams with this week's episode.
Hello, friends, and welcome to the Fathering Strong podcast. Eli Williams here. I can't even say my name right. Eli Williams. I've been saying it for over 7 years, and I still stumble over it. It is so exciting that you are here with us, and we have with us in the studio today John Upshaw. John and I go back a long way, and it is so great to have him on the podcast today to talk about his life, his journey as a dad, and his involvement in the community here locally. So welcome, John.
Thank you for having me, Brother Eli. Much appreciated.
Well, we appreciate it more. Thank you so much. Our aim is to inform, to inspire, and to encourage fathers to be the best parents and parenting partners they can be. We like to hear the stories of fathers because there's always someone who can relate to someone else's story. So whether the experience was good, bad, or ugly, there's always an opportunity to encourage someone else by the stories of overcoming and of growing and even thriving despite any mistakes along the way. So again, welcome. And why don't we get started right away, John? Why don't you tell our audience a little bit about your childhood?
Oh man, I am a Springfield born and raised, bred young man, as most would say. I had, countless outlets where I could go, whether to do homework or, play video games, get devotions. Shout out to Jackie Mounts and Hope. That was my home for about 3 years in high school. And my mom worked right down the street at Central Fire Protection. So, we'd walk up there and check in, and then we go back down to Hope. And that's where I met an array of other mentors that really kept us off the streets, but, just kept us motivated with life knowledge and just active participation. It was really great. And then alongside that, meeting you in the Sunshine Club and, having our on-off again run-ins and occurrences and your mentorship, that was key as well. And then, I just give all glory to God, really, because, having a dad, he kind of went through his struggles, throughout his adult years. And there was a gap there. So in the midst of the gap, there were still my uncles and other men within the community that I could really lean on for guidance.
Yeah, I'm really happy to hear you say that. We probably don't talk about that enough. The fact that there are some good men out there who act as mentors and just as encouragers to other young men, to boys and what have you, to kind of help them know that there are indeed, no matter what your home life might be like, no matter what deficits your father might have, there are men out there who take an interest and can make a difference just by their befriending a young man who may, in fact, be fatherless.
Hmm.
So I want to encourage, perhaps you're watching this or you're listening and you're thinking about getting involved in your community, wherever you are. Um, you're looking at a young man who benefited from the commitment of males in his life, adult males in his life when he was young, who came alongside to encourage him, right?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Countless men that I'm still in contact with to this day.
Excellent, excellent. And you make us all proud.
Thank you.
Now, your grandfather played a big role in your life as well. Is that correct?
Yeah, my grandfather, Richard James Lewis, God rest his soul. He passed in 2014, right before my youngest daughter was born. But yeah, when you're a kid, and I'd say about probably middle school, high school, I didn't really think about having children yet, but I knew, when it was time for me to step up to that plate, no matter the situation, that there were things that I could take away from him, like long car rides and ice cream in the Air Force Museum and vintage movies abroad. So that really set the foundation for me, even up to nowadays, mentoring other young men and just trying to, as the good book says, give them wise counsel as well.
Yeah, we're going to get into that. But before we do, tell our audience how you became a father and what your experience in fathering has been thus far.
All right. So coming out of 2005, 2006, I was a senior going into, well, I was a junior going into senior year of high school. And I met a young lady that was already, had a family started with a young son and with a young daughter to come along and be. And that really, I had to make a choice. If you're going to develop a relationship with a young mom and they have children, then you're going to have to build on that relationship as well with those children, because you can't just be with the person and not take the package. So that kind of trained me up from the mentors that I had and the father interactions that I had with my dad to kind of ease into it in a way, whether it was healthy playtime or going to the park or just attending doctor's appointments to kind of stay in the know and in the loop about what was going on as far as the development of the child. And we stuck together, we stuck it out through and through, through some trying times as well. And once we got to where we could, have the option to start a family of our own, us have a child together, I think that very much kind of helped me develop into to stepping up and playing that role in her children's life and with my child to be's life as well.
So, how old were you when you became a father figure to her children?
See, I'd say I was 18 17 going into 18, transitioning into 19. I went 2 years for an associate's degree at Bradford College, which is in Columbus, Ohio, up by the airport. It doesn't exist anymore, but and just learning to work on the long distance relationship type thing. I'd come home on the weekends to have family time and things like that, and then you could bring them up too to come spend time, and um, that's really when I got the ball rolling, wanting to be a full time dad, as per se.
So, how old were the children at the time?
Oh, man, let's see. The son, he was going on, I want to say 2. And then when she found out, when my partner found out about their daughter, well, we went through a trying time where, I don't want to say it was a Mari moment, but it was a Mari moment. We didn't know if it was my daughter or it was the other young man's daughter. So upon her being born, and I wasn't there when she was born, but 6 months into her life, that's when we got introduced. And bless you, brother. And I was able
Excuse me.
to just kind of take her in my arms and be that nurturing part that she needed. And I'd say I was probably about 19, 20, not yet 21. uh, you know so still an adolescent then.
Gotcha. I'm gonna, because of my coughing fit, I'm gonna pause here and grab some water, and I'm gonna go back to that question. Okay, hang on. Okay, sorry about that. And I believe the question was, how old were the children when you became their father figure. I believe
All
that's
right.
where we were.
So the
All right.
young, the son, my
Okay, let me
partner.
ask let me ask let me ask it clean.
Okay.
All right, here we go. So John, how old were the children when you became their father figure?
So my partner's oldest son, he was going on 2 years old, 3 years old, somewhere in there. And then when we found out about the daughter and she was born, she was probably about 6 months old when I was able to transition into that full time partner with my partner and kind of take the reins as being a pops, as a protector, order keeper, and provider, stabilizer.
Excellent. Sounds like somebody remembers their Pops 101 class.
All the time, man. It's still
Excellent.
fresh, man.
All right. Excellent. So what were the challenges, John, of being young yourself, 18, 19 years of age,
Hmm.
and you are the father of two biological children who are not yours biologically,
Hmm.
but they became yours by your stepping up and playing that role. What were the challenges with that?
Well, I knew naturally um, a man has those tendencies, especially if he's all in. Like I said, building a relationship with an individual and her having children, they become a part of your life. So definitely, most of the challenge was coordinating with the biological father, as far as time with them and healthy family interactions for the children and balancing school as well. Being going through college to get an associate's degree and having so much time away. That was really challenging as well. Initially telling my mom that I was dating a lady with two kids, it was a little bit of rough around the edges, but between her and my grandmother, man, they were just so loving and accepting. And on my behalf, they said, "Hey, you know, grandson and son, if this is the lady that God is telling you to try with, then we're going to admire that and we're going to give you all the support that you could get." So, mainly the challenges were definitely coordinating with the biological dad, working out that time that the kids would have with them, and as far as them doing things as a cordially getting along as male and female for the kids. That was really challenging for sure.
No doubt. So eventually you and your wife um, you guys got married and you started having children together.
We did. So we had one out of
So
wedlock, which was my middle daughter, Sincere. She'll be 17 this month on the 20th. Let me shout her out. And then after she came along, that's when we decided, hey, let's just go ahead and jump the broom and give our family something solid to build on too. So we had our youngest, Sydney, which just turned 11 in May, and that was like the beginning of our marital chapter and solidifying everything as being a blended family.
so what was the what has been the greatest joy or satisfaction for you being a father, despite those circumstances? What can you point to and say this, among perhaps many things, has been my greatest joy of being a dad?
I'd say definitely their life moments, their life accomplishments. Whether it's coming home with perfect attendance or scoring on the B honor roll or even trying sports and going out to sporting events to support like that. I know from the oldest, down to the youngest, when the oldest were in her shoes, that I really tried to make that intentional time and those moments with them, dating back to having those father figures and uncles and mentors that did movies and ice cream and the dad-tivities. I really tried to make a wholesome effort to make sure that they got to experience that too. And that was a common conversation for my partner and I, trying to give our children, an experience that they did that we didn't necessarily have, with both of our dads being in and out of our lives. So I'd say the joy was in just watching them grow up and
Yeah.
just take a particular interest into so many good hobbies and good things for them. Whether it's establishing a positive relationship with a male or female, in the school building or out, and just really trying to challenge and inspire them to be their greatest every day.
Well, congratulations. You did a great job. You are doing a great job as a father. Just
Thank you.
want you to know I see you. I see you. You're doing a
Appreciate
great
you, brother.
job.
Appreciate that. I really do.
And you've got a heart for young men, and that shows up in the work that you do. We're going to take a time out, and when we come back, I want you to tell our audience about the work that you're doing with Promise and how that involves working with young people. My guest today is John Upshaw on the Fathering Strong podcast. We'll continue our conversation after this.
Every father faces a crucial question. How do I become the dad my children truly need? I'm Bruce Stapleton, and my new book, Fathering Strong, God's Blueprint for Leading Your Family, offers the guidance you've been searching for. Drawing from scripture and real-life experiences, this book provides practical wisdom for fathers at every stage, from cradling a newborn to connecting with adult children. Discover how to build a legacy of faith, courage, and love through authentic fatherhood. Available now where books are sold.
Welcome back. My guest is John Upshaw. John is just a fine example of a young man. I'm so proud of him. I've had the opportunity to witness his growth over the years, and I wanted him to come on and share his story, his fatherhood story, but also to talk about the work that John is doing here in his local community. John, tell our audience about Promise Neighborhood. What is that?
Springfield Promise Neighborhood is a Southside-based nonprofit here in Springfield that got their start in 2010 under the fearless leader and teacher, professor, Dr. Bob Welker, which enlisted, candidates and students that were in his class to kind of
At
spearhead
Wittenberg
at
University.
Wittenberg University to spearhead this initiative and the idea around community into school and school community out. And that's really the foundation for our work, whether it is, teen or elementary school, middle school mentoring, hosting and holding family events, and really sharing resources around our community to families in need. Um, we're kind of like the bridge and the connector on a lot of realms to, in a lot of spaces and a lot of individuals. And my position, which was created from community engagement, is now Healthy Families Coordinator. And, in saying that title, to me, Healthy Families is mind, body, soul, spirit. So the work that we're doing, whether it's the family event and tying in a community resource into that, or whether it's, in these buildings, doing an array of programming throughout our community, we want to foster that connection and also continue to preach that, families have an intimate time. It's really important, for the foundation and development of our children, as well as, the growth and security of our adults. They go hand in hand and they overlap a lot. So um, I'll just say we pride ourselves on continuing to build healthy relationships with residents and Springfield community people. And they're our family as well. There's nowhere where we don't go and, get multiple hugs from kids or just have really deep conversations with the adults that we've, been in the trenches with, because we want to understand their stories, but also, be motivated to continue creating programming and healthy interactions for our community as well.
So, Springfield Promise was inspired by Jeffrey Canada's work in New York City.
Yes, sir. Very much
Uh,
so.
yes, but over time it has become more and more of a unique Springfield thing. Is that not
Mhm.
right? You're doing things that meet the needs of families and neighborhoods here in our community. Is that right?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. And I mean, we're nothing without our community partners. We thrive on open collaboration and just really strategic, intentional timing and connection of how we want to engage our families. And as I mentioned before, whether that's a Saturday morning and people coming out and getting free produce at our garden over on Linden Avenue, or if we're invited to a community event and just being able to, not pull people in, but, just have that relatability that we have common ground in what we're doing. And to me, all those micro moments is a boatload of joy, man. I really do love and passionate about this purposeful kingdom building work, man.
Yes, and collaboration is so key. You collaborate with Urban Light Ministries, and in fact, collaboration with Juneteenth. Just to give a little history for those who are not aware of it, our community has had a Juneteenth celebration on the weekend closest to the holiday, Juneteenth, for many years. And we had started Fatherfest some years later, which is also a community event that was drawing a crowd and with community resources there and all. And it became a conflict because we've got two local community events taking place within blocks of each other, and we decided to combine those events into one.
Mm-hmm.
And that was a great thing. We're going on, um, I don't know, maybe close to 10 years since that merger, and Promise, actually you came along and are heading up our Dad-tivities. So tell the folks what Dad-tivities are. I love that name, by the way.
Oh
We should
man,
copyright that.
yeah. We could do that. We could do that very much so. And shout out to brother Eli. We used to have men's class on Tuesday nights down at the Cohatch, and we would all volunteer each week to kind of head a topic of conversation. And I think mine was Dad-tivities. I got assigned Dad-tivities. So Dad-tivities is anything that you can enjoy together with your child, whether that's a Nerf gun fight, putting a puzzle together, taking a nature walk, a nature hike, and naming as many things as you can see. Dad-tivities has no limits. It's intentional time with the kids. For me, I put my devices away. When I'm off the clock or not working, I try to make sure that I'm fully present for my children. And like I said, Dad-tivities has no limit. The list is endless and goes on. So for Juneteenth Dad-tivities, we've tried to, give it some spontaneity and just get creative and innovative with it. So you'll see some different ones this year. I think we've got like a Dad-tivity keychains where the kids can like do some art on their keychains, and whether a family photo goes on there or a photo of the kids or the dad, that's something that, like a keepsake they can keep with them and take with them as well. um, Dad paint rocks, which are always pretty popular with inspiring words and things like that. And then we've got a unique take on the Father's Day card this year with learning how to tie a tie. Yeah, as the week goes through, I'm going to be learning how to get that craft down. And man, this should be
If you need some
exciting.
help, let me know.
Oh man, it's going to be good. I look forward to this, and I also look forward to the Dad Awards. With being um, now part of Father and Strong, and having so many guys that I've met over the years that are now fathers, and getting to nominate them to get the Good Dad Award, it's kind of special to see. So I always look forward to that window in Juneteenth where they're highlighting and recognizing these good dads, man, because the guys, and I try to ahead of time, the coming year, there's a few guys I nominate, and then if I don't get to those guys this year, then they on the radar for next year. So a lot of good dads this year are, under 35, and they're doing their thing. A lot of the good dads that I recommended or nominated this year are guys that I just met, but I seen them, in the act, connecting with their kids and just being so awesome. And, it's an honor and a pleasure just to not only keep passing the torch, but to inspire these guys to say, hey, no matter what you're going through or what your situation is, you can always be the common denominator in being a good leader and a great father.
Well, you're doing a great job with that. And in case you're wondering, listening friend, what the Good Dad Award is, just very simply, it is an opportunity for you to recognize a father who, while not perfect, is doing a good job of raising his children, being involved in their lives. That ought to be recognized. It ought to be honored. The Bible tells us to honor our mothers and our fathers. And this is a way to do it. It's very simple. So right now we'd be talking about the 2026 Good Dad Award, but you don't have to wait until then. The registration for that is open now, online, year round. Just go to urbanlight.org and go to the Good Dad Awards page, and you can nominate a dad. And then during Father's Day or leading up to Father's Day 2026, we will send you a certificate for the dad that you want to honor. So that's what that is for those of you who may not be aware of the Good Dad Award. So, John, we're coming toward the end of our time together, but I want to make sure that I give you a chance to talk about Pops 101 because we do have an online version of Pops 101 so that any father listening anywhere in the world can go online and they can take the Pops 101 course. So, you've been through Pops 101. Tell us what you learned from it and whether or not you'd recommend it for a listener.
So I was a young dad when I took Pops 101. And to this day, Brother Eli, when we went over to visit Clifton Avenue Church of God and helped them with the pantry, that picture is up in Promise HQ right now. So when I walk in the office and I see us up there, it's like, damn, this is destined to be. This is where I'm supposed to be. So that set the foundation right there for
Yeah.
the window opening to be back with Promise. But Pops, POPS stands for protector, order keeper, provider, and stabilizer. And for me, what that means is, man, in all those realms, not just being a provider, not
Yeah.
just being a protector, order keeper. A father kind of sets the foundation and sets the tone, for things in the family. Whether it could be discipline, it could be that realm of time where it's time to do homework, or it could be those leisurely outlets. And then the stabilizer is really the symbol of the father being the balance within the family, not taking anything away from our mothers, because we know how important our mothers are too. But
Right.
our dads, they just bring that unique energy into spending time with the kids and interlocking the whole family together. And um,
Yeah.
I learned many lessons from there. And if it was anything, man, it was, as I mentioned before, just be really intentional with your time. No matter if it's the kids as a group or if it's the kids individually, make sure that you love on them, make sure that you build them up, because we're not here to tear each other down. We're
Yeah.
here to keep growing together, man, no matter what the age. So thank you for that,
Excellent.
Brother Eli.
I'm glad you said what you said about, the mothers, because nothing we do is putting fathers over mothers. That's not what it's about. It's not like fathers are important and mothers are not. That is not in any shape, any way, any form what our message is. Our message is that children need both an engaged, involved, and nurturing mother and father.
That's right.
But unfortunately, so many times it's the father that's missing. Not all the time, sometimes it's the mother.
Mhm.
But so often it's the father who has walked away, or he's got some problems, or he's in and out of jail, or whatever the issue. He's not there to play his role,
Mhm.
the God ordained role of being the protector, order keeper, provider, and stabilizer in the life of his children. So it's about, you know, appreciating mothers, those who've tried to do it all by themselves, who have to do it by themselves because of their circumstances. Our hat is off to you. We're grateful for you and we see you, but that's not the way it should be. the way God ordained it is for a man and a woman to be together and to raise their children together. So thank you for pointing that out. And we probably don't say that enough, but it is about mothers and fathers. But we're here to encourage fathers to do their best uh, to be the dad that their children need. Now, we're going to take another brief timeout, and when we come back, we're going to wrap things up. But I want you to tell people how they can learn more about Springfield Promise, or how they can get in touch with you. So hang on. We'll be back after this brief timeout.
Children benefit significantly from the presence of committed, loving, nurturing fathers. Strong fathers contribute to stable families and safe, healthy communities. Fathering Strong connects, engages, and empowers fathers. Join the fatherhood movement at fatheringstrong.com to discover a wealth of resources. From inspiring videos to informative articles and instructive courses. By subscribing to our resources, you're not just helping yourself, you're helping Fathering Strong provide these valuable tools to families in need. Visit fatheringstrong.com, download the app, and subscribe to our YouTube channel today. Together, let's build stronger families and communities.
Welcome back, friends. This is the Fathering Strong podcast. Eli Williams here. John Upshaw is with me today, and he's been sharing about his life, his experiences as a father, and the work that he's doing in his community through an entity called Springfield Promise. And you've told us some about what that is, what you do there. Let me ask you what your long-term goal is. What is the future that you see that is going to be the result of your work with Promise?
I believe in service, under God, being a disciple, being an apostle, and short term and long term. There's still a lot more things I want to do with Fathering Strong with our fathers, as far as being active in our community. But for me, this kingdom purpose it's way more than flesh deep. It's a soul deep type of thing, and I just want to continue to inspire our community, individual families, our youth, tall, small, high, everything in the middle, the family core as a unit. I just want to continue to help shape that and foster that and show people that, all those years ago when the pandemic began and we were all isolated, that really coming together is the way to do it. Not everybody's going to make it to every family event. Not everybody's going to make it to every community event. But the time that we come together, and we spend intentional without feuding and, without discrepancies, that unity is a beautiful thing. So, in the midst of everything going on with the world right now, we create this pocket of hope when we do get together and we don't have anything in the middle, isolating us. We've got enough division within the world, but connecting and growing together and inspiring, family to family, person to person, that's God's grand design, and for me, I just want to keep blood, sweat, and tears, all good energy, and just really spreading the light as much as it can, Brother Eli.
Well, that's very encouraging. Keep up the good work.
Thank you.
What keeps you going?
My relationship
What inspires you?
The life. I mean, life in general. My deep relationship with the Creator above. I make sure that I get up a little bit extra earlier, to spend that time, and it helps me shape all of my interactions, all of my conversations, just the beauty and creativity and just life in general, man or woman, adult or child. There's always somebody that you can be kind to. There's always somebody that you can show love to that may have never experienced it in a unique way before. So, whether I'm in the grocery store and having that, random conversation with an elder, or if I'm at a community event, surrounded by a bunch of kids, that is more than enough fuel to the fire to keep me just being a good person. I seek to do a little bit of good each day that I'm blessed with breath in my body to do it. And that's really what I intend to carry out, man. Collaboration or just individual, man. I really just want to bring the right energy to all the right situations.
Well, that's very, very encouraging. Keep up the good work. Is there a final message that you would want to share with our audience regarding anything that we've talked about or anything else, actually? What would be your final word?
Um, as I mentioned before, the world is going through a lot of changes. Some see it as chaos. Some see it as, evil things. But, we do control, the energy that we bring to the situation. If our thoughts create our reality, if we wake up and we want to harm or be violent or degrade people, then that's what we seek is seeking us. So just inspiring people to be in a greater mindset, in the inclusion of everyone, no matter their walks of life. Um, Christ's way is the right way, and the way, the truth, and the life. It starts with you, and what you bring to the day going in. So whether it's holding that door for that nice person or really patting somebody on the back and give them a compliment. When we speak good into existence and carry out good, the universe is going to reward you threefold. And that's really just to keep people encouraged. And, people keep me encouraged, whether it's a scripture verse coming to my phone or, healthy interactions and conversations, but just really grasping life. And, no matter what you're going through, just seek to do good. It pays in the long run. Kindness is golden, for sure.
Good words. How would someone get a hold of you to learn more about the work of Springfield Promise or to ask you a personal question?
We're all on, www.springfieldpromise.com. We got a lot of social media pages. We post most of our events on there, our happenings. We've got an email thread that you can actually tap into from the homepage on our website. All of our info is on there. My contact info, it's community with spread. I have a personal phone number. I have a promise phone number. I get activity on both. So I'm very open and receiving of, wanting to team up or, rather just meeting for coffee and kind of chopping it up. But yeah, definitely our social media pages are out there. Springfield Promise Neighborhood. And most of us you'll see around the community, whether it's at Lincoln holding camps, whether we're at the garden doing a service day, or myself, I walk the downtown, I walk the neighborhood. So, you can't be a community leader and not be in the community. So I make sure
That's
that,
right.
hey, grandma, I'm staying with my grandma right now, take care of my 90-year-old grandma. So I'm like, hey, grandma, I'm grabbing my house key and I'm going for a walk to get some fresh air. 9 times out of 10, I'm going to these parks. I'm walking the streets. I'm looking for people to connect with. And as I mentioned before, being an apostle and a leader, we all got that within us, man. We just have to seek to want to tap in fully.
Well, John, I really appreciate you joining us today on the Fathering Strong podcast. It is always a delight to be with you, whether it's something like this or just sitting around shooting the breeze together.
Yes,
You're a
sir.
good man, Charlie Brown.
Oh, man, I
All right.
appreciate it. I had good men before me, including yourself. I appreciate you as well, man. Thank you so much. Much love and
Thank
admiration,
you.
sir.
And we thank you, friends, for being a part of today's Fathering Strong podcast. We appreciate it. Join us again when we'll have another interesting guest to share their fatherhood story. I'm Eli Williams. We'll see you next time on the Fathering Strong podcast.
Thanks for joining us on another episode of the Fathering Strong podcast. We hope you found the conversation inspiring and helpful. To make sure you don't miss out on future episodes, subscribe to the Fathering Strong podcast on YouTube, Spotify, or Apple Podcasts. Just search for Fathering Strong in your favorite app. The Fathering Strong podcast is brought to you by Urban Light Ministries, a nonprofit organization with a 3-decade legacy dedicated to turning the hearts of fathers to their children. Thanks to your support, We're able to keep this podcast and many other resources free for dads everywhere. To learn more about Urban Light Ministries or to donate and help us continue this important work, visit urbanlight.org. The Fathering Strong podcast is a production of Urban Light Ministries. Eli Williams is your host, and Bruce Stapleton of the Momentum Group is the producer and engineer. Our theme music is provided by saxophonist Harold Rayford.